Committee of the Whole is back in order. At this time, we will be taking a 30-second recess for OFB. Committee of the Whole is back in order. We'll start pulling this up. This should be a pretty straightforward one. Actually, this is one of our colleagues' favorites here, Guam Solid Waste Authority. So we will await the OFB presentation on the budget request. And Mr. Guerrero, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Total appropriation for the Guam Solid Waste operation is $19,942,319, and that is the total appropriation for solid waste. The bill is about 1.3 million more than what is showing in the EPR, simply because when we look at the tracking is doing very well for the solid waste. So basically what we did is we just put it up to the level of what they were tracking. Thank you.
Jesus Masi, Director Guerrero, yeah, this I think was the fastest pre-budget meeting that OFB conducted. Okay, Guam Solid Waste Authority, round one, GSWA round one. Any questions? Senator Terlahi, you recognize.
Yeah, we just, I guess the governor signed the universal trash bill. Congratulations to Senator Perez. And in one of the premises of that bill was that that was going to allow them to decrease fees for existing customers. And but I don't remember if there was anything in that bill that would affect their operations costs. And so I just wanted to ask if you know if there is, or if Senator Perez would yield to that.
Either way, I'll have Steve fire away, and Senator Perez, if you want to yield, we can do that too.
Yes, Senator. We were not aware or apprised of anything that would probably cause any serious reduction in the fund other than what you mentioned. But again, you know, the fund is tracking at the rate it is. So, you know, they're the only agencies that receive funding out of this fund, that we just put it up to the tracking.
Senator Perez, do you have anything to add to that?
The only thing I can add is that the PUC basically had oversight of this, and so I'm pretty sure that it would not decrease the revenues unless there was an issue, some unforeseen circumstance. But I need time to pull up the documents to confirm any of that information.
No problem. I do remember also, just my 2 cents was they said that the legislation, when it was contemplated over a year ago, it would have had the force and effect, but now they're conducting whatever they need to conduct, but they're happy with it because it will do the adjustment just later. On GSWA, any member would like to speak on GSWA?
Again, I just want to thank you for those responses. And again, congratulations to Senator Perez and to the legislature and to the people of Guam and solid waste for this plan that got adopted that's going to reduce illegally dumped trash. And it's going to also reduce significantly the bills for paying customers. Thank you.
Susan Masi, Senator. So Guam Solid Waste Authority, round one, round two. Solid Waste Authority has been heard. We are now on Historic Restoration and Redevelopment Authority, HRRA. Mr. Guerrero, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the Guam Restoration and Redevelopment Authority, their appropriation out of the general fund is $443,589. There is no other funding source for the agency, so that is the total amount that's authorized or that's being proposed for them for FY26.
Susmasi, Mr. Guerrero, HRRA Round 1. Any senator wish to speak? HRRA Round 2. Any senator wish to speak? Seeing in here, oh, there you go. Mr. Parkinson, Senator Parkinson, you may proceed.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I guess, talk about HRRA, the Magaʹhågan Restoration and Redevelopment Authority. I am not against this agency, but I'm just trying to figure out, you know, do we need it? Like, I'm not sure. There's an open conversation as to what is going on with this agency. Are we going to accept the master plan, not accept the master plan? Like, what are we doing? So I brought this up last budget cycle, and I'm just going to continue to kind of echo those thoughts because another year has gone by, and I'm still not quite sure what HRA does. And so I'd just like to get that out there for the body to talk about. But, you know, if we are looking to do some austerity measures, let's have a conversation about some of these agencies. And HRA is one that I've had questions about. And so with that, Mr. Chair, I'm just kind of throwing that out there. With that, I yield the rest of my time.
HRRA Round 1. HRRA Round 2. Yes, Senator Calvo, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, HRA, the reason why it could not really move forward is because of lack of funding. There is a master plan that was presented in the past and was completed, and there's another one that needs to go before the legislature once again. So it's something that I guess us as a body, the 38th legislature, can actually look into. Its mission is vital, not just for heritage, culture, tradition, but also for tourism. Think about this. If you go to other places, what do you see? Their capital. You know, they boost their capital, they put funding, they allocate resources towards their capital, because that is one of the things you wanted to offer out there in the global stage, to say, hey, we have this. This is the seat of our island. So there's a lot of things that HRA needs support. If we want to see the mission, the mandate to take place, we need to support it. And trust me, with this amount, I'm happy that Director Gillette Leon Guerrero is doing such a great job from October last year. She's barely new as a director, but she has already put HRA in the forefront. There's progress. So I think if my good colleague right here, one of my BFFs here actually, would like to have conversation with regards to HRA, bring it on. And I can fulfill you or fill you up with a lot of information regards it. But on that note, I think we need to support our capital. We need to support this initiative. Come on, guys. And I would like to thank OFB, I'd like to thank Appropriations for ensuring that this is funded. And I'm happy, even if it's status quo, I'm happy that there is funding that's appropriated to this agency as opposed to being zeroed out. So on that note, I encourage my colleagues, all of you, to let's let's put our senses to this and this is going to be one of our prides, Agana, our capital. This is one of the things that we need to boost our tourism. You know, it goes hand in hand with our tourism efforts. So it's vital. So my colleagues, my dear colleagues, moving forward, I hope that you guys can join me in my efforts to preserve this and everything that HRA is going to do. We have grand plans, great plans. Let's just keep an open mind. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate it.
Senator Cowell, BFF challenge issued. HRA, round one. Round two. Round two has been heard. Oh, round two. Oh, okay. You want to come back. Senator Parkinson.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything my fine BFF from over there has said. I actually appreciate her call for more revenue. And if we're talking about keeping an open mind, I got this one trick to raise us $40 million instantly to potentially go to HRRA, but more importantly, the things like the hospital. And so I greatly echo the sentiments of my colleague that there is a greater need for funding. And I will admit, I am not the most educated on what is the necessity and purpose and mission of the HRA, so I welcome having conversations with my colleague to be schooled upon it and to learn more about it, because I do not disagree with the notion of reinvesting in our community. That is where I would rather have our investments, and if there is a place to do it here with HRRA, I'm open to it. I only bring up this point again because we are looking for places to squeeze out any little bit of revenue and resources we can, and I had questions about this agency last year, and I would be remiss, and I don't want to be accused of being inconsistent by not having the same concerns I did this year. And so I thank my colleague for her comments, and I look forward to working on you on ways we can raise the revenue so that our island can get the resources that it needs. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Senator Parkinson. Round two called. Okay, HRA is done. Colleagues, we are now on E-Comisión y Finotomoro, Zani Finanaguin, Historians and Tautano E-Comisión. Lala Mona no Senor Guerrero Guerrero.
I'll stick with the English version. The appropriation for the Commission is as follows. General Fund, $726,566. They also, oh no, and that is all there that's being appropriated for them in FY2026.
Sidus Masi, un request para EBR. Gini Gobierno. Un ratata, Senador.
I'm sorry. Yes, it is status quo to the governor's EBR request.
But you want, Senador, it's the same. On E-Comisión, any senators want to speak? Round one. E-Comisión. Round one. E-Comisión round two. Monadzan. We have completed E-Comisión. Been heard. Colleagues, we are now on OTEC, Office of Technology. And Mr. Guerrero, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the Office of Technology, appropriation out of the General Fund is $5,362,796. That is the only appropriations made to OTEC for FY26.
Director Guerrero, I know that this was a significant request increase. Can you explain how we funded the request as opposed to a status quo?
Okay, Senator. Yes, Senator. The increase basically of about 1.4 million was to fund, there were like 2, 4, 6, 8, there were like 9 projects they were really asking to fund. But of course we couldn't fund all of them, but what we did is we funded those that we felt that was quite important. One was the data center hardware maintenance and support. The other one was technology, planning, and management, the network security and maintenance, and the retirement and increment incorporated within the 5.3.
Swansea, Mr. Guerrero. OTEC round 1. OTEC round 1. Senator Taitagui, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, it's showing it's a $1.4 million increase compared to FY25, correct? From OFBs to the proposed 2026.
That's correct.
Okay. What was the governor's budget request for OTEC?
The governor's request was $5,360,796.
I'm sorry, the sneeze. Go ahead and do it again.
$5,362,796.
Oh, so it's the same then, from what you appropriated?
Yes.
Okay, the same. Are you familiar with a letter that was sent to the office of the governor from OTEC on July 28, 2025, requesting funding, critical funding for OTEC in the amount of $5.1 million to cover essential needs for OTEC? The firewall, which everyone knows that protects from cybersecurity at $550,000. The network storage upgrade, which is desperately needed, which is $550,000. The IBM Power 7, Power 11 upgrade at $1.1 million. The backup transformer, which is $500,000. The network switching infrastructure at $500,000. The VMware virtual environment pricing change, Broadcom, was $525 million. The dark fiber operating infrastructure at $312,000. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say 500? It's 535,000, right, for the last one. The last two is 500,000 and then 535. The dark fiber was 312,000. And the most especially, we're all familiar and everybody has to be prepared for this, even this body at the legislature on the Microsoft Office 10 that is now going to be no longer supported. And that means that's clear across everybody, everywhere in the world, that's going to happen. And that's at $1 million. Then we have the personal training, of course, and the cyber certification at $75,000 annual. These are just a few essentials that are needed for OTEC. I mean, this is huge. If we lose any kind of ability to capture data, or that it's lost, or somebody hacks into our system, we are, well, I don't want to say the word, but you know what happens. We will be significantly affected by this. And for years, colleagues, if you look back at the prior, budget bills, we have been neglecting OTEC for many years. We are in a day of digital, we're in a day of electronics technology. And if any of this fails or crashes, we will cripple our government services, cripple it. it's better to be, proactive than reactive because it won't cost as much. And I'm just really surprised. I know OTEC had reached out to OFB, but what I don't know is if they reached out with this particular letter that he had sent to the governor, explaining these are critical areas in OTEC. When's the last time somebody's visited OTEC, their office? They're like small boxes in there. It's an old building that's falling apart. We are relying so much on technology to store data. So I'm just really surprised that it's such a low increase at $1.4 million more is not even going to cover. That's probably only going to cover the situation with the Microsoft Word 10 that we all have to replace. So I'm just really surprised. Did you receive the same letter, Steve? Because I have a copy here. I'll be happy to email it to you. But did you receive that same request?
Are you referring to the letter dated July 28th?
Yes, I am. So you did receive it. Yeah.
We received it in my office, yes.
And why didn't OFB really take to heart some of the requests that they need that is supporting all our agencies and information and data? Why didn't you give more? I mean, especially a critical time.
Again, Senator, it's just a matter of taking whatever resources we have and allocating throughout what we felt we needed to fund.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like other areas in safety and in health, there's going to be reduction in appropriating funds to meet needs.
Well, I tell you what, if the system crashes or a successful hack, it could definitely cripple our essential, not only services, but healthcare that rely on technology. It will cripple us. My time's almost up. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator, as you stated, that letter was sent to the governor. We did not receive any requests for adjustment other than the meeting their request, which was the 1.4 additional. I did communicate with BBMR. They asked me at what level did we match. We said we matched the request on the EBR, and there's been no, and that's July 28th, Senator. I mean, we're talking about how many days before going into session to debate the budget. So I would say between the governor's office and the legislature, we're going to have to work on this, and if their ceiling has not been raised, our ceiling has not been raised, there's got to be an amendment to move money from somewhere. So that's really where we're at right now. On OTEC, any senator would like to speak on OTEC round 1? OTEC round 1, OTEC round 2? Round 2, Senator.
I'll take advantage of the round 2.
Sure.
But I'm just saying that if you received this letter and knew the issues, and now that I know that OTEC didn't come to you directly, I think that I don't know if anyone has dealt with people who are techie. They tend to like to just go in their little corner with their computer. They're not very aggressive or very pushy or anything like that. So, but it's no excuse. It's really no excuse. If you had our budget bill did not come out, after, it came out, a couple weeks after that letter on July 28th? I mean, we were making changes to this budget bill. OFB was making changes left and right as soon as you found something that was an emergency or something that needed to be funded that was brought to your attention, you could have made these changes. Because what's going to happen, like I tell you, everyone, once this system crashes, it's going to cost a whole lot more to fix it. But the worst part is that we can seriously be hurt. Our information hacked, ransomware. So if it doesn't sound very popular, right, techie, because everybody's so used to picking up their phone thinking it's like their right hand or their left hand with their laptops in front of them and all the information that we have in front of us. When we go to an ATM machine, When we go to the gas station where they're actually using technology. Everybody remember when Marwa hit? Everything went down. Well, that's going to happen if we have a ransomware that happens, or cybersecurity that's involved, an attack that comes to us. We saw what happened with Docomo when they got hacked. So this, my friends, is something that we need to really think about, because we will be essentially without any services. Not just on the government side, my colleagues. If they can hit the government, which they will, they'll go for infrastructure. Water, power is all now done through technology. Their billing, their data is all done through new technology that can easily be hacked. Let's not wait for that to happen. So I'm asking this body, any money that there's left over somewhere. The hospital, I think, for me, actually is priority too, but they also use technology. So please, as we deliberate on this budget, let's try to find some money somewhere. And I'm hoping that there could be an amendment, hopefully an amendment that, I can proffer in this section, that'll find a little bit more revenue for this government to be able to take care of this very critical situation. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Steve?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator, while I appreciate all your concerns and what you're saying is important, there's no doubt about what you're saying, that if the day does come, we're all going to be scratching our heads. However, please keep in mind, when the departments prepare their budget, they're not given an open-ended ceiling. They're given a ceiling to prepare their budget. So everything they prepare for their upcoming budget is based on a ceiling. When we meet with the departments, we ask them, aside from what you've indicated in your budget, what else do you think you need that are critical and important to the operation? My God, the list is hundreds. And we're talking about tens of millions. I would love to appropriate everything to address all these concerns. But like anybody else, I have a cap. And what we allocate within this cap, we do the best we can. And like I said, the bill is just a plan, a budget that we put together. And we do our best to see what we can do to allocate those resources to the best way possible. But if it's not within the priority that this body decides it should be, then it's not there. But remember, these items that are being brought to us, especially during my budget meetings at my office, they weren't just created yesterday. These are long-standing issues, year after year. Why it's not included in the executive budget, I don't know. I can only address what's there, and we try to do our best.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would just like to add to that we're in the transfer season. That's what was represented to us from the front office. This was written to the governor. The governor, these are all CIPs and equipment. I think this is a perfect time for the governor to transfer that $5-some million. Right now, they said they never transfer in this entire time that they've been part of this administration. This is transfer season. The governor should handle this right now. OTEC wrote to the governor. And most of these are not fixed costs. These are equipment, supplies, backups. These are hard assets.
And software.
Software, absolutely. So I think we should, recommend that that's what happens in this time of the transfer authority season. OTEC round 2. OTEC round 2. OTEC's been heard. Senators, we are now on Bureau of Women's Affairs. Mr. Guerrero, you're recognized.
Thank you. For the Bureau of Women's Affairs, the general fund appropriation is $272,277. Out of the general fund, that is all the appropriation being made in the bill for Bureau of Women's Affairs. It is a status quo budget to DBR, and no other increase is reflected.
Bureau of Women's Affairs, round 1. Bureau of Women's Affairs, round 2. Senator Cabo, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As the Oversight Chair for Women's Affairs, I just wanted to first say thank you for this appropriation. I just want to note that they're out there and share to the people of Guam that 272,277 is not really a huge amount. It's not a huge investment. We need to consider the fact that this is about uplifting, advancing status of women. My personal thing about this Bureau is their efforts and initiatives to protect women against violence. And for me, that's a big thing that we need to consider here as legislators. You know, we all have mothers, we all have sisters. Some of us have daughters, aunties, you name it, little girls. So for me, this is quite a small investment when you're talking about women. On that note, I just want to say thank you. Even if it's a status quo, I'm happy. I'm happy that at least there is a budget. And mind you, this is for the whole year. So in the future, when we have initiatives and everything, I hope we can actually allocate more, especially if it's about taking care of abused women, children, individuals that we truly need to protect. Anyway, on that note, thank you so much, Mr. Chair, for the opportunity to speak.
Susmasi, Senator. Bureau of Women's Affairs, round 2. Senator Barnett, you're recognized.
Hey, Susmasi, Mr. Chair. As it's raining cats and galagos here in Magaʹhågan, please drive safely. Yeah, you know, I know I don't always agree with what Bureau of Women's Affairs is doing, or the director sometimes I know rubs some of us in the chamber the wrong way, but I think the status quo budget is 100% improvement over what was being proposed in the Project Rifle, where the Bureau of Women's Affairs was actually zeroed out. So I'm very grateful that you guys were able to work it out and present them with a budget that is status quo. As the director was taken aback, is probably putting it mildly, but some of the items that would have been impacted, Bureau of Women's Affairs, FY2026 High School Completion Scholarship Program, and this is a program, it's a great program. It awards $500 scholarships to women over 18 years old who return to complete their high school education. And as the son of a young mother myself who was never able to finish high school, this really speaks a lot to me. They also secure significant federal funding, but as you know, the federal cuts that are putting a lot of these agencies in the crosshairs are coming in fiscal year 2026. So I'm very grateful that the budget as presented for the Bureau of Women's Affairs, of course, you know, we talk about meeting mandates and increases, just the mere fact that it was able to survive being put in the crosshairs, able to survive having that little sniper red dot on the forehead, and come here before this body so that we can move forward and continue the programs that the Bureau of Women's Affairs makes available to the women, young women, and girls of our island. So thank you, Mr. Chair, for the opportunity to rise and speak in gratitude that this budget is included in the budget bill. Susmasi.
Bureau of Women's Affairs, round 2. Bureau of Women's Affairs, Senator Tadigui, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I was a former director of the Women's Bureau back in 2007, I believe it was. And, you know, my budget back then was just $55,000 for the whole Bureau of Women's Affairs. But I was able to take this office and find a home for it by incorporating it into the Department of Labor, which helped us both, because by them housing me, they also received grants for themselves for untraditional jobs for women. And it helped Department of Labor, and it stayed there. And every year after that, the budget stayed within itself. I learned to work without having to, have any assistance. I went to DYA, worked with the young girls at DYA. I went to DOC and worked with the women there that were in DOC. I found computers for them and worked very hard to get across that, the glass ceiling for women has not broken, but it has cracked. And we've gotten through that. But then after I left the Women's Bureau, I started seeing something that I was very disappointed in, maybe a few years down, actually during this administration. I think the former speaker mentioned it, I don't appreciate anybody who's sitting in that position to start being biased about their thoughts on what women or what we should believe in. And that was pro-life versus killing babies. And she was out there advocating for killing babies. And I think that is totally wrong. You're there to represent all women, to hear all sides of it, and not take a side for women. You're there to give a hand up to women. So that was very, very disgusting in my book. Now, later, we saw the Bureau of Women's Affairs increase constantly. FY22, I think it went up to $98,000. I know how hard it was when I was a director, having no money but just 55, which actually was just the salary. I didn't have a budget. So I thought, this is good, it's going up a little bit. But Mr. Chair, if you go from FY22 to FY23, 24, 25, you're going from $98,000 in FY22 to now the amount of $272,277. It's been growing nonstop. And what's ironic, Mr. Chair, is that this area in the Women's Bureau, they oversee now federal funds. So she has a dual job on top of that, which I believe she's also getting paid from that side of the aisle. So I'm very disappointed in the Bureau of Women's Affairs and what's going on. Most especially just being so unbiased about representing women, only a certain women that she's representing, and that's very unfair. That's why I'd rather lower this amount and give it to somewhere else that's going to do a lot better for the people of Guam as a whole, some of this money. I don't say zero it out, of course not. Keep it going. Like I said, that glass ceiling, it's not broken. It's not broken yet. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Susmasi, Senator, Bureau of Women's Affairs, round two. Bureau of Women's Affairs has been heard. Check BWA. Colleagues, we are now on medical referral, medical referral assistance office, medical referral office. And, Mr. Guerrero, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the Medical Referral Assistance Office, appropriation for FY26 out of the general fund is $665,849. This is a status quo amount, which is the same amount reflected in the EBR requests. There's no other appropriations being made to the Medical Referral Assistance Office.
Medical Referral Office. Colleagues, round one. Senator Talahi, you recognize.
Yes, it is Masi. Mr. Guåhan, could you please remind us how much of this is contracts and how much is employees? And how many offices are there?
Give me a second, I'll find out details.
Are you home, babe? Uh-oh. Oh my God, yeah. I haven't been able to go.
Okay, Senator, to answer your questions as far as the breakdown is concerned, about $432,719 is allocated for personnel. For contracts, we have $221,130 for contracts.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Could you repeat that?
Okay. For personnel costs,
Yes.
it's $432,719. And for contracts, it's $221,130. That is the bulk of that entire appropriation.
All right, and the contracts are for the offices in the States, in Philippines, or where?
Is it both for, where's the office at? No. Is it both for Guam in the Philippines and California?
Natal.
Senator, it appears that this appropriation is strictly, the way I see it based on their budget, is only for the local programs.
All right, thank you. That's all, thank you.
Jesus Masi, Senator, Medical Referral Office, round one. Senator Barnett, you recognize.
Sidus Masi, Mr. Chair, yes, Mr. Chair, Sidus Masi. There was reported in the Guam Pacific Daily News, August 5th edition, and this was the story on pay raises for Adelup cabinet staff top $226,000 this year. Mr. Chair, you had made a comment on this story, as did I. They had the Chris and Chris from the legislature commenting on these raises. But one of the raises was given to Guam Medical Referral Office Staff Assistant Darren Gutierrez, who received a $20,000 raise going from $50,000 per annum to $70,000. Mr. Guerrero, I don't know if this is like a moot question, but are you tracking that? Is that included? Are there other raises that were given to this to staff at the MRAO?
No, sir, we're not. The only thing we get is whatever's reflected on the staffing pattern. And the other thing, too, is that all these positions are unclassified, so they don't get increments.
Right, yeah, that's kind of the whole debate, right? Okay, so how much, I missed Senator Terlai's line of questioning, but of the 665,849, how much of that is for staffing?
Total amount for salary is $432,719.
And then what's the balance for? Do you know?
It's for contracts.
Contracts.
Yeah.
Do you have them on the?
A breakdown of the contracts?
I mean, just nothing too crazy, but are we talking about the contracts? So I'm just kind of vaguely familiar with this because I know former Senator Fisher ran this operation for a while. And then they have, I believe, people contracted, whether it's in the Philippines, California, Hawaii.
The breakdown that they have for the contractual services is basically about $2,600 a year for their Xerox machine, and about for transportation services, about $218,000.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Guerrero. I guess my only other comments, Mr. Chair, was this medical referral assistance office, traditionally, and I'm sure any of my colleagues who have worked in a governor's office, this was a great program that assisted a lot of people. But I'd just be curious, and I know that Mr. Guerrero doesn't have the information, so maybe this is just something I do on a research level. How much benefit we're doling out, how much assistance we're doing with this medical referral assistance office, because it looks, I mean, obviously it looks like 90% of it's going out for salaries, and that doesn't leave much room for the benefits, which, from my understanding, include, let's say you have, you're traveling off island for medical, you go to California, you need help with your appointments or whatever, there's supposed to be some kind of staff or contract person who picks people up from the airport and kind of runs them all. And I've just heard different, either people say, oh, it was great, we got a lot of help, or people say, yeah, they never answered the phone, couldn't get a hold of anybody, we just ended up doing it ourselves. So it's a pretty, agency to agency, it's a pretty, I want to say it's a significant appropriation for this type of program, especially considering that, like I said, lion's share, beyond a lion's share, is going to salaries. And there's no offense to anyone working in the office, just want to make sure that, this is something that we're getting a good ROI on, because for me, and I think anybody here would agree, it should be really about providing the assistance through the medical referral assistance office, and less about, handing out jobs for whatever reason. And, I'll find out and do the research. So thank you, Mr. Chair, just for the opportunity to comment on this.
Tusmasi, Senator, Medical Referral Office, round two. Seeing and hearing none, Medical Referral Office has been heard. We now go to the Guam Ethics Commission. Mr. Guerrero, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the Guam Ethics Commission, FY2026 appropriation out of the general fund is $552,680. This is a status quo level as compared to the EBR requests. No other appropriations being made to the Ethics Commission.
Ethics Commission, round one. Ethics Commission, round two. Senator Terlahi, you're
Thank you.
recognized.
I just want to ask again, I think I asked this at the last budget, but sorry, for this ethics, how many employees are there? And I know they have a director and some employees, but did you look at this in detail at all? Like, did you see how many cases they're handling or anything like that?
As far as basically, you know, the productivity, work output, you know, how much cases they process and cure, I don't have that. But what we can do is probably take total number of personnel they have divided by the total number of appropriations, see what it actually costs the government to run it. But for at least what we have, people we have classified for? All of them, 1, 2, 3, 4 people? Yeah. They have a total of 5 positions, of which 4 are filled and 1 is currently vacant.
And do they have contractual also for a lawyer? Is that what I remember?
Yes, they have a portion allocated for legal contract of 10,000, prosecutorial contract of 10,000, and conflict counsel at 10,000.
How many members?
All right. If you ever do get that information about, I don't know, maybe they have an annual report. I haven't seen it.
I think the best report you can get from them is that centric report. They come out every year.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ethics Commission, round 1, round 2. Ethics Commission been heard. We are in the last section of Chapter 6, and that is the Guam Legislature. Steve, you recognized?
I think that's the last chapter on chapter 5, sir.
Excuse me, Chapter 5.
Yeah. So chapter 6 is a different chapter, so
Aide.
we'll go ahead and
Chapter 5 has now been closed completely, and
for
so
the
now,
amendments.
so now we will come back after dinner for amendments.
Yes.
We will come back at 7:15.
okay.
We're in recess.